So, do, re, mi, ba, 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 red leather, yellow leather, red. What? Alright. Hello and welcome.
Sorry, that's a really weird vocal warm-up from you. I think do, re, mi were all on the same note as well.
Yeah, that was the point.
I love that. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Hello and welcome. I love that.
Toy boat.
Toy boat. I don't know what scale. I sound like a jazz.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Well, because...
Close.
Do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do.
Yeah.
Solar. Solar! That's the new note.
I don't think you pronounce the L in so.
You
right?
don't. No one pronounces
It's so.
There's an L in that note?
But you were saying L. You said solar. You didn't even say so. You didn't even say soul. You said solar.
Because it elides. It's sola.
Oh!
Yeah, it's S-O-L, but no one says the L even when they pronounce it.
Fucking
I thought... Okay, I totally didn't realize la had an L in it. Like, honestly.
What else would it have?
2 L's.
Who else? Yeah.
Mama.
Solia. Soliati.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Fools in Fiction. We're still in Colorado, and that's because we're fucking high as kites right now. We were like, we need to get some weed, and so we obtained legal weed, and then we were like, you know who we want to get stoned and talk with? So we warped Sean to our location using Wendy's powers. That's also how we got the weed.
She started to interface with us, which is very exciting.
Yeah, I'm super happy about it. That's what the Verninator episode was, is that Wendy has abandoned him.
So I think all of her powers transferred out of his world and into ours, which is very exciting.
So now I'm here.
Yeah, so now Sean is here. Welcome.
Are you happy to be here? Like, we forgot to ask.
Sure.
I know we just kind of summoned you over here and you didn't have much choice, but yeah, this episode we are going to talk about a certain kind of story that I noticed was like a common thread. I don't know if these are just coming of age stories or what, like fantasy coming of age stories, but it's the idea is that you have someone, usually a kid, from like a very normal world, of like a world similar to ours. As much as you can call our world a normal world, I mean.
What with Wendy being in it?
Yeah. Yeah. So, oh my god, maybe it's happening to us. Maybe we were in the normal world and then that means Wendy's gonna go away.
No.
But anyway, so the idea of these kind of stories, I think, or the commonality between them is that someone, usually a kid starting out in the normal world or something like the normal world, gets transported to a fantasy world and learns lessons and then comes back and is smarter and older. So like, we've just got a big list of examples and we thought we would just talk about them. It's going to be a fairly chill episode because I'm kind of tired.
I'm stoned.
Yes.
So, do we want to just start off with like our favorites or just talk about them or what?
I mean, I've always liked Peter Pan.
Peter Pan?
It's been a long time since I've seen it.
It's been ages. They've also remade that so many times.
5 times.
Yeah.
Including a video game.
They made a video game?
Yeah.
What?
No one plays it.
Good.
What's the basic plot of Peter Pan?
Do you not know?
There.
What? Have you
That's
not
all
watched
I know.
Peter?
I saw it so long ago. I was Peter Pan for Halloween.
Oh, I thought you meant in real life.
That explains why I don't know about Peter Pan, Jones, because I was him. I've repressed the memories. Explain the basic plot of Peter Pan.
That's the plot of Hook.
Yeah.
What is
that Robin Williams was Peter Pan and then like repressed the memories.
Oh my god, am I Robin Williams?
That means you're dead.
Not Hook, but Robin Williams. He's gone.
So the basic plot of Peter Pan is some dickhead Kokiri looking guy shows up at, is it the Bateses?
The Darling.
The Darling? Are the Bates in
Bates Motel.
Psycho. No, I'm thinking of, aren't they the ones with Mary Poppins?
Yes.
Okay.
Those are yes.
Okay. So they show up at the Darling household and
when does this take place?
the ambiguously racist England?
It's in
Like 1940s England?
Yeah.
Around that time period.
Okay.
It's in East Kensington.
You really do know everything. So the plot is that the children are
Wait,
like,
I've got an idea. I'm going to explain the plot.
okay, as
So
you remember
we
it.
Yes. I'm recalling this from my traumatic past.
Okay,
So we have 4 kids.
already off to an excellent start.
Alice, and then like 3 boys.
Keep going, please.
Then Tinkerbell's like trapped in a bush or something, and she's
like the picture of the Shiba Inu that's trapped in the bush.
no, like in Over the Garden Wall when they find.
Oh,
that's probably what I'm thinking of. But they like save Tinkerbell or something, and she gives them dust or something, not the drug. Is that a drug? It sounds like a drug.
It is.
Okay.
It's the thing in Ruby.
Yes.
Too.
And in his Dark Materials.
Yep.
She gives them some kind of dust where they have to believe, and then they can fly, and they go to an island.
Yes.
I realize that you said they have to believe. I 1,000,000% heard they have to bully you. And I was
No,
like,
they do not.
so I think we started off thinking this was going to be talking about this types of narrative. I think it's just you poorly explain the plot of Peter Pan, which
And then there's Peter Pan. I don't know anything about him.
You don't know anything about him?
He's like, is he actually old, but he looks young?
Yes.
He can't age.
Well, he is chronologically old. Like, he has existed for a while.
Yeah, he
but
lives on an island where you cannot age.
Then I don't know what it's called.
Neverland.
Oh, Neverland.
Is it?
Neverland in Neverland.
I'm from the universe where it's Neverland.
Maybe? I think so.
Anyways, so I'm gonna give you like a C because you definitely got like the main thesis of the movie. So the most important thing, I don't even know why he kidnaps these children. I don't remember.
They pretty much go with him.
Yeah,
They
but
wanna
like,
have an adventure.
is
Peter
that
Pan?
just him? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Peter Pan's arch nemesis is Captain Hook.
Yes, I know.
The most campy individual I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I love him.
Is there a crab?
There's a
That's
crocodile.
Sebastian.
There's
Oh, yeah.
there's a crocodile. I think it's a crocodile. TikTok or something.
Okay.
All right, so
Okay.
you said TikTok, and my brain,
Croc. I think that might be its name.
my brain was going interior crocodile alligator, which is where the alarm clock is stored. But you said TikTok, and that fucking brought me into hell of post-Vine content.
Okay. So we got the basic plot.
Yeah, they go on an adventure, they thwart Hook, and then they come back.
Do they learn anything?
They learn about believing in things, and that's okay to stay a kid and to be playful and have fun with things.
Which they promptly forget by the next movie.
Yes.
The next movie is
Well, I
different.
think. The next movie in the series.
yes.
Yeah.
No,
It's different.
the next movie in the series is Return to Neverland.
I think so.
Wait, then it is Neverland.
Yeah.
Damn it! The girls who is not named Alice,
What is her name?
Wendy.
Wendy, that's right. Her
Wendy
Yeah.
looks directly at camera.
looks directly at Mike.
Her daughter, I believe,
Yeah.
is the protagonist. And it's like the exact same story, but with the added flair that Wendy and the other kids, or kid, is it just one?
No, there's 3 of them.
Are there 3?
I'm pretty sure.
They have forgotten or like elected to forget about their time with Peter Pan, and so like Peter Pan comes back and is like, "Hey, it's me, that guy that your mom definitely talked about." And Wendy's daughter is like, "Absolutely, who the fuck are you?" I don't remember the story of that, mostly because it's a direct-to-DVD Disney sequel.
Yeah.
It doesn't really have a story.
So unless there's more to be explained, I think that the thing that connects this to the theme, or at least to another thing in the theme, is So it seems like based on this explanation, part of the moral is like it is all right to be a kid in the SpongeBob way. Mm-hmm. And I think that ties into Labyrinth. Labyrinth has a similar, very different story, but a similar moral, I think.
Yeah, I would agree.
I would say that Labyrinth also has the moral of having to be an adult, though. Like, Peter Pan is more focused on retaining some youthfulness, but not so much about growing up. Whereas Labyrinth is
but
about
isn't that part of growing up, that you start out with this misconception that you have to be all adulty, and then you
but like
that you can retain some of the
in Labyrinth, she's like very irresponsible, and like in childish ways.
Is she? She's going after Toby the whole movie.
Yeah,
that's a responsible thing.
But the reason that he's in trouble is because she's like, I wish you were never born, and that the Goblin King would take you away. Like,
true.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah,
but
that's
I think
true.
she faces a lot of the challenges with like a level of creativity.
That's fair.
Not childish, but something of a child.
I was also hella tipsy when we watched that last time. Have I told that story on the podcast?
I don't think so.
I drank an entire pitcher of pina colada while we watched Labyrinth like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
God, that was crazy. I think another one, I think you might know this. I don't know if Finn will. Is Halloweentown?
I don't know this.
Yeah.
It is a Disney Channel original movie.
Yep.
It's actually a series.
These kids end up going to a Halloweentown, which is a town filled with monsters and all that sort of stuff. And their mom is a witch, right? Or their grandma or something.
Yeah, their grandmother.
And they don't want the kids to become, wizardy witch people, but they go to the Halloween world and they help to try and fix it and solve and
so like Spirited Away-ish,
kind of. But so the thing is that there's a daughter and 2 sons. I think
it's 2 daughters and 1 son.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. And then there's another son, or maybe there are 2 sons.
Hold on.
There's either 4 or 3 of them. I thought there were 4.
Well, because I know the eldest daughter wants to become a witch.
Yeah.
And the middle son / maybe the only son. Oh, I think it is 2 daughters. Because I just think the really young kid, the second daughter is really young in the first one. Anyways, the second one is the stereotypical nerd, and he's everything can be done with science.
Yeah.
And it's what's really interesting about that is that has a little bit of the initiative that you see in Labyrinth, but you don't see in stuff like Peter Pan, where in Peter Pan, the story kind of happens at the kids, where in Halloweentown, they're actually actively seeking out the plot.
Yeah, a lot of it is spent with the one character really wanting to, do magic, and the other one saying it's not very helpful.
I just realized, so we were trying to think about movies that it happens to the adult, and I know we talked about a couple of them, but I think the best one is Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh God!
Oh, it's been so long since I've seen that.
Oh my God!
Should I explain the plot now?
Yeah, please explain the plot
Okay.
of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
So it's a noir film.
You're already doing better than you did with Peter Pan.
That's what I saw more recently. It's got the style of Space Jam, but it's nothing like Space Jam.
Yes. Okay.
I think there's a sex scene.
Okay, continue.
No. I'm going to give him half credit for that.
Yeah.
Because
Oh no, I would too.
there's a scene that is intended to bring about the ideas of a sex scene, but they're not having sex. The point is that Jessica Rabbit is playing patty cake with the mayor of Toontown.
Yes, I remember.
Roger gets very distraught about it.
There's oh my God, was there was some famous guy. Oh, the what is his name? You know him. Doc Brown.
Yes, Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd plays a great villain who it turns out was a Toon the whole time. And there's this kind of there's this thing where they're dunking Toons in death juice.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Ink?
No.
Invisible ink?
No. God damn it.
But it's legit. It's very scary. Not like horror scary, but like no, it's horror scary.
Yeah,
It's
like,
oh god, he's like literally
scary,
killing people.
like melty, gruesome. Not gruesome, but gruesome.
When he dips the shoe in
Yeah.
it is like very like
It's
Yeah.
it makes him a great villain.
Yeah.
But so how does that have to do with how does that have to
well
do with
because
what are the adults who- Shaq is not in this.
no,
correct?
it's Eddie Valiant, I believe. It's something Valiant.
But he's thrust into like the toon world. Well, not into it, but
It's called The Dip.
that.
The dip.
So Eddie Valiant is pardon me. There is like Toontown or Toon World or whatever it's called, and it's where all of the cartoon people live, and he is a real boy, like he's a real live action person, and he has to investigate.
A murder?
Is it a murder? I don't remember. He has to investigate.
Toon getting murdered.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
too. He has
that
to
sounds
investigate a crime, and he doesn't like toons. And the reason being that his brother was killed by a toon.
Right. Yes, I remember.
And the entire joke about that is that he breaks his arm, and I had the realization watching it that he broke his humerus, and that's why he's not funny anymore. And so the thing is, he's like a gruff old man, and by interacting with Roger the Rabbit and
all these childish toon characters.
yeah, including like a car,
Yeah. A
Right,
car.
right.
and
That's
the precursor to Sex Pistols.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I remember.
That gun is crazy.
Yeah.
But like
Through that process.
yeah, he becomes softened up to it, and it's very it is not a children's movie. And,
No.
like
Not really.
I think you should be at least like 12 or 13 when you see it for the first time, because it does have like a lot of innuendo
And some like dark.
and some
Yeah.
like it's pretty dark for something that
It's like
is that
it's like a
animated.
pretty complex story as well.
It's
as
like-
it
Yeah, it
goes.
is.
It's like how the Happy Town Murders is like
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's
I don't know what that
puppets.
is.
The point is that it's like Sesame Street but like rated R, which like
It's not a good premise.
no, it's really
It sounds
not.
bad when you put it that way.
It wasn't a good movie from what I heard, but like Who Framed Roger Rabbit is very much about like the old guy getting in touch with his inner child.
Yeah.
So another one where it's an adult. The other example we could think of is the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which Sean has not seen.
No,
Do you know
I'm not.
anything about it?
Not really.
Do you wanna
Besides
explain
it's
it?
Chaotic.
And that Tim Curry's in there.
Yeah.
Name the characters of Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Just try and name characters
Here,
that
I'll
you...
show you. I'll show
Okay,
you.
try.
I'll show you.
Frankenstein.
Ooh, close.
That's close.
Darn.
It's Dr. Frankenfurter.
Okay, I was close.
I really want to cross over between
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein and that, and it's Dr. Frankenfurter.
Yeah.
I can't find it, the picture.
I cannot believe. Hold on, are you going to show a picture of Frankenfurter?
Yeah. Okay. So this is the iconic one of the main like 5, especially for you podcast listeners.
Yeah.
You'll get to
Okay.
see this. The idea of Rocky Horror is it's 2 straight people who enter the gay world very unexpectedly.
That's capital G gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The gay world. Yeah.
That's Dio Stan, but he's even gayer.
It's like people talk about like the Islamicate world, meaning like the
Yeah.
world of is like with
Like the Middle East and also parts of Spain.
places that are very influenced by Islam. This is like the gayficate world.
Yeah.
But which is all contained in one castle. And they it turns out this I don't want to spoil the ending, but it turns out the vast majority of them are aliens. They are trying to
That is correct.
It is a convention. They're at a convention because Frankenfurter has created a monster named Rocky Horror, who is just like a really good looking guy.
Oh, yeah.
And then hijinks ensue when Brad and Janet, the straight people's, they're fiancés now, engaged. So they were going to they were going originally to their like middle school or high school science teacher's house, because that was when they met, was in his class. So he shows up as well.
He does show. Okay,
and then it turns out his nephew was very recently murdered by Frankenfurter for unclear reasons.
Was it Eddie?
Yeah, Eddie is his nephew. Which is just like Eddie, like literally, like Kool-Aid Man's out of the walls, like has a sax solo and then gets pickaxe murdered by Frankenfurter.
It's not even Kool-Aid Man. It's like Metatron.
Oh no.
Or Metaton.
Metatron.
Well, the Metatron is the voice of God in.
I know who Metatron is.
Oh, that's right. You also have seen Dogma.
I have not seen Dogma.
Yes, you have. It was in Movie Feast.
I have not seen a lot of the stuff we've seen at Movie Feast.
What? All right, we're getting off topic.
I know from Supernatural. But anyway,
okay.
so that's an instance where it's two adults who learn something. Mm-hmm. They learn how to embrace their sexuality and what else?
That's about it.
Yeah, I think that's about it. I won't spoil the ending, but like it doesn't turn out great for anyone. Oh. It's a lot of like destruction. But they come out of it alive.
Someone pulls a Jay Gatsby and dies in a pool.
Someone does pull a Jay Gatsby. King Kong also happens, like
what?
contained inside this movie. Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, but it's because it's a parody of a lot of like old sci-fi and horror films and stuff.
Like, I am sounding shocked because I saw Rocky Horror for the first time when the Shadowcast was put on like this past week or two. And I'd seen it for the first time, and like so many things happen in that.
It's the plot is fairly non-existent.
Yeah, the point is,
but it's all this whole amalgamation of like what's supposed to represent like queerness, I think. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that's another example of adults.
I think
going to a fantasy world and coming back.
I think the closer for this then, which encapsulates both adults and children, has to be Narnia.
Oh. I didn't think about that at all.
Oh, and that's actually, because one thing I was thinking about a lot of these movies that they don't do is they don't address what happens in the world where they disappeared from. Mm-hmm. A lot of the times they go back and we never hear what happens in the future or like who was missing them. Yeah. But in Narnia, that's a huge plot point. Like the entire point of A Boy and His Horse and The Silver Chair is that they occur during the reign of Queen Susan. Which, like, for those of you that don't know Narnia lore, that doesn't make sense. But another really interesting thing that Narnia does, of course, it's like a huge biblical allegory, but the thing with going into a magical land is that it also addresses what happens with non-believers, really interestingly. So this happens in the last book, which is called The Last Battle. And basically... all of the people that have come from the real world into Narnia now, like, except for Susan, I think she doesn't go back because she grows out of it. But they all like it basically go to heaven at the end. Like everyone dies and like not in like a Ragnarok like this sucks way, but like everyone is rewarded and they get into heaven. And a couple of people that were with them were like a bunch of satyrs or dwarves, just a really bunch of angry bastards is their key characterization. And the really interesting thing with them is that everyone else is like, oh, this wine is great and the food is delicious. And all of the non-believers are like, this is hay, or like, this tastes like swill. And they actually... some of the characters are like, what are they talking about? And Aslan is like, they're just not going to see it. Like, they're not going to believe it, so they're seeing what they think is going to happen. Which I think is really interesting, because a lot of, like, even in movies that do it where there is a skeptic, like in Halloweentown, like, they get turned over. Like, at the end of Halloweentown, the kid, like, uses magic. Susan is the skeptic for the whole first section of the first movie.
And then is queen.
Yeah, I mean, there's a huge thing in the... It's a big thing in the movie where you can't enter it unless you believe in it in some way, because a lot of the time they walk into a wardrobe and there are just clothes.
Yeah. Which... Honestly, the weirdest thing about Narnia is they exit Narnia as, like, full-ass adults, and then they're back in kid bodies. And I'm like, that's gotta have some really bad feelings.
That's something that they talk about in Umbrella Academy.
Really?
Yeah, one of the main characters is much, much older than everyone else, but is kid body.
Interesting. I need to watch that.
Have you seen Umbrella Academy?
I've seen a little bit.
You should watch that.
All right. Well, I think we've said our piece. And if you the listener, might be asking, you guys didn't talk about anything. You just rambled about movies. You're like, yep, that's that's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any concrete tying thread together, but we just talked about them. I'm gonna just read out the list in case to spark ideas in the listeners' minds. So the ones we wrote down here are Wizard of Oz, Infinity Train, Over the Garden Wall, Labyrinth, Neverending Story, Spirited Away, Coco, Peter Pan, Coraline, and Rocky Horror. So see if you can think of, this is your homework exercise, listeners. Think of any other stories that have these same vibes or tropes.
Vibe. All right. Do we do the plugs?
Sure. Do you have anything else you want to say, Sean?
I think I'm good.
Okay. We've had a Reddit. Or a subreddit. Go to reddit.com/r/foolsandfiction.
We own all of Reddit.
Yeah, we have Reddit. You can see places to comment on individual episodes because podcasting, like RSS feeds, don't allow that by default. Give us a rating and review on iTunes if you would like. We got a new rating, which we appreciate. Thank you to whoever did that. Email us at foolsandfiction@gmail.com. If you want to find any other podcasts on the godforsaken... No, wait, that's what I said last time, and you corrected me.
We're godforsaken. The God-sponsored network.
The God-sponsored network. Go to Spreaker.com/user/PNWM. And you can find some other podcasts there.
All right. It's ritual completing time.
Yes, it is.
Goodbye. Please, for the love of God, turn the podcast off.